2, 1. We have liftoff. The Honorable Speaker of the eThekwini Council, Councillor Logi Naidu, many captains of industry who are here today, friends, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the directors and shareholders of Oceans Development Company, Mr. Vivian Reddy and Mr. Rob Alexander, I extend to every one of you a sincere and warm Durban welcome. My name is Solly Pillay, and it is my pleasure to direct this unique, spectacular, and enriching event today. I use the word enriching consciously and aptly, as indeed today is an immensely enriching event. Perhaps to be more semantically correct, it is a supreme enrichment event. Why so? Today, you are all privileged to be part of a unique and enviable investment community, which will one day, on reflection, turn out to be one of the most prudent and advantageous days in each of your lives. The season of goodwill and gifts may have passed in December, but do not despair, as Vivian Reddy and Rob Alexander today present their greatest gift to this province, to the Durban region, and all of you in particular, in the form of the spectacular and awe-inspiring new development that will inextricably change the face of Umhlanga, and in its wake, set new standards of opulence, luxury, and lifestyle. The much-vaunted development will not only reshape the landscape of one of the most sought-after tourist destinations in Africa, it is also a tremendous leap of faith in this country, in this region, and in the future of South Africa, offering in its wake a massive boost to the regional economy and indeed to the national fiscus. It is said in some quarters that while the soothsayers of doom and gloom were having a field day in their pessimistic economic prognostications, the heralding of the ocean's development in December last year injected a boost of new optimism, faith in this region, and adrenaline to a flailing economy. Over the last few months, many of you were faced with a combination of euphoria and indecision. Euphoria at the exhilarating prospect of investing or living in a magnificent new edifice, and indecision in deciding how far you should go with your investment ambitions. Wherever you fall in this spectrum, after your purchase decision today, take comfort in the irrefutable fact that not only have you made the optimum lifestyle decision of opulence, comfort, and rejuvenation, but you have also indulged in one of the most prudent investment strategies to present itself in this country. It is now my privilege and pleasure to introduce the Chairman of the Board, Mr. Vivian Reddy, who will welcome you on behalf of the directors and shareholders. Friends, it is always a dilemma when deciding on how much one says about someone who literally needs no introduction. Does one talk about the bravery and chutzpah of an enterprising man with exceptional vision, mastery in strategic chartering, and supremely defining qualities of the highest echelon of entrepreneurs? Or does one talk about the trailblazing genius of a man who walks amongst paupers and princes alike, stamping his indelible mark on the landscape of every facet of business and industry? Or does one talk about the spirited firebrand who maneuvers around pitfalls and potholes of economic opportunities, flying against the face of pessimistic economic soothsayers? Perhaps the best way to introduce Mr. Vivian Reddy, what he is and who he is, will be by his own philosophy and personal mantra of life, which he articulates thus: business success is not just about business. It's about overall life. Dress smart, be positive, look in the mirror and like what you see. He adds, optimism, pursuit of excellence, and operating off the beaten track is the beacon of the Edison world. It has always been and will continue to be the driving ethos of our existence and operation. I have no fear of the doomsday soothsayers who apply modernistic and textbook economic prognostications to business outlook. They have nothing else to do. I believe in the philosophy that an idea should be allowed to germinate into its full potential, and that an idea should be, nothing should stand in the way of this idea. Thinking out of the box has become a well-worn cliche. I do not just think out of the box. I dream, I experiment, I innovate, and I fear no physical barriers. Ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneur extraordinaire, benefactor exceptional, champion of racial cohesion and visionary supreme, it is my honor to invite the chairman of the board, Mr. Vivian Reddy.
Thanks, Solly. You know how Legend King Goodwill Zolatini has his praise singer, I've got Solly Pillay. It's so good. It's so good to see all your beautiful people. I went around greeting almost every one of you. Those that I haven't met, I will be coming out to you later. You've got a long while here, but the way we've done things this year, it's going to be very different. It's going to be quick, it's going to be efficient, and you're going to enjoy your time there. And don't forget the kiddies corner out there, the snacks all over. And for those that have been queuing up since 9:30 last night, we really admire your commitment and dedication, and we trust that you are successful in getting your units. The Speaker of eThekwini, Logie Naidu, my fellow director, Rob Alexander, let him stand up. He's a very shy guy. Rob, stand and take a bow. Give him a big hand. Because between us, we're taking the biggest gamble of our life. Doesn't matter our own casinos, this is the biggest gamble. There's nothing so big in KwaZulu-Natal or in South Africa at the moment, 3.1 billion on one project. The CEO of Edison Property Group and the development manager of Options, the super committed, dedicated, and hardworking Pregan Naika, who over the past 48 hours hardly slept preparing documentation for today. You're going to meet him back. He's going to put his signature to tell you, right, the deal's been done. A welcome to the members of the Ocean Development team who you'll meet as they walk around to answer the questions. They got badges saying, ask me. Ask them about architecture, engineers, how does this project going to stand? And it'll be very inspiring talking to you. And in between, we've got Mo Magic, the TV person that's got a great program on TV. He's walking around, going to entertain you, and we've got music in the background. And I want to acknowledge and salute the greatest architectural team, but I want them all to come up here. Nick, Scott, all of you guys, come up here. I want you guys, and I'll tell you why I want them up. The whole 10 of you, well, there's Ruben and Ravi, whoever's here. Come on. Right, there is, I tell you why, there's two more architects, Ruben Reddy and Ravi Japsi. Those guys are normally late for meetings, so I think they're on their ways. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to acknowledge and salute this great architectural team who have created from a plain canvas a majestic design for the mixed-use development that the legendary artist Michelangelo would have been proud of. And I'll ask you guys to take a bow and let's give them a big applause. I mean, what you see there is world-class. It's absolutely, everyone we speak to. When we launched this project, it appeared in 26 newspapers, 14 magazines, something like 50,000 people watched the videos, and there's YouTube videos, and Facebook had about 15,000. And when I asked the editor, what's it about? Why did you put this thing in the front page? He said, this is one of the greatest pieces of architectures in modern time history. And it's those gentlemen that took a bow, they are the creators of that masterpiece. I want to also, well, you know, we work very hard in business, Rob and I. We spend lots of hours at work and many of our other staff. And I just want to also welcome the members of my family that's here. My wife, Sarisha, is here. My daughter, Yavni, and husband, he is still out in the back. They just got back from overseas. And I also want to give a special welcome to the members of the media who have given us great coverage. Many of you are here. And I special recognition to the MD of DevProp Global, Price Moriarty, and his team, and all the service providers, and a special welcome to an amazing, efficient individual, Eric Steele from Houghton Carter. He's an absolutely amazing leader in the team. We have buyers who have traveled from some African countries and representative buyers from New Zealand, India, Australia, and Europe. And so many of you have traveled from Gauteng and other provinces, and of course, our very own residents of KwaZulu-Natal, a special welcome to you. Esteemed guests, you are soon to be the proud owners of one of South Africa's most prestigious address, Ocean's Umhlanga. Recently, I went away for a holiday, for a 10-day break, and when I came back, on the newspaper, there was a copy of the business report, and that was on Friday morning. And it's amazing. The headlines in the article said, new stock exchange given the go-ahead. The rand strengthens to below 15. People that really know about rand believe that in the next 6 months it'll be back to its 11, 12 levels. Eskom obtains 11.9 billion guarantees, which means no load shedding this winter. The Land Bank to give farmers more loans to ease the effects of the drought. Capitec Bank, one of the smallest SA banks, see the profits surge by 26% to 3.2 billion. Basil Reed, the construction company, announces a profit of 172 million from a loss of 821 million last year. The increase in trading in shopping centers countrywide greatly outstripped the SA economic growth last year. The all-share index on the rise. 54 billion of government tenders were awarded this current year to local manufacturers and suppliers of all race groups. The take-home pay of South Africans increased last month to the highest level of over 10%, higher than this last. It was just in one newspaper, within 4 pages. Great news. And to cap it all, the stats on Fridays, the South African Revenue Service announced that for the first time in history, it achieved R1 trillion in tax revenue. I don't know whether that's good news or bad news for you, but the fact is that we are, ladies and gentlemen, these statistics, positive statistics, defies the low economic outlook of the country. We're still in a recession. I mean, all of you sitting out here, you are part of the reason why people like revenue, income tax, we achieve those $1 trillion that can be used to uplift the poor. You know, this good news made me think that maybe I should leave the country more often and come back to good news. Ladies and gentlemen, South Africans, this statistic shows that South Africans are resilient. Its citizens are industrious and have learned to overcome adversities and succeed against all odds. And every one of you in this venue are successful South Africans who are here today to make a purchase based on your vision of a great investment. It is through your great efforts and sheer hard work that you make South Africa a better place. And I want to applaud and salute every one of you. You are truly, we are a truly great nation and highly respected worldwide for our achievements. We are an amazing country, and I'll give you some quick statistics. We are the only country in Africa that's a member of the G20 and BRICS. We are ranked first worldwide in respect of accounting and reporting. South African banks ranked number 2 in the world for soundness and reliability. We are the only second country in the world to have hosted the cricket, rugby, and soccer World Cups. We rank 7th in the world in terms of the Nobel Peace Prize. Our judiciary ranks amongst the top 4 in the world. And Thursday's judgment against the executive is proof of such independence. And that has created great confidence in all South Africans and foreign investors. We rank as number 4 in the world in terms of cell phone coverage. We have 48 million of phones for a population of 50 million. This very building is the 3rd largest conference center in the world. And I'm sure you're aware of our leading status in platinum, gold, and wines. And ladies and gentlemen, we are a great nation, and you should be a proud South African, proud to be part of this wonderful, great nation. We do have our problems, but there are more positives than negatives. And when I compare some of the countries in Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Africa, and some of the places, the fear, turmoil, and upheaval the residents face, I thank God I'm born a South African. Currently, there are over 200 billion private sector developments in our beautiful country, of which about 40 billion are here in KwaZulu-Natal. It shows the great confidence that South African business persons have in their own country. In a similar vein, all of you today believe in the future of our country. Therefore, you are prepared to make a wise investment. Talking of investments, when I first purchased at the Pearl 6 years ago, and the Pearl is just 20 minutes across the road from the oceans, I paid about 20,000 Rand a square meter. Today, the remaining top floors, I think the studios, the Pearls, are selling for about 70,000 square meters. It's been one of the best investments I've ever made in residential property, as I own 5 units at Pearls and have achieved a capital appreciation over 300% over 6 years. Umhlanga Rock's property, you just cannot go wrong. I mean, our average price of our Pearls units are around 47,000 per square meter. A product of this quality in Cape Town will cost you over 100,000 to 130,000 per square meter. Recently, a major property group sold 20 plots, sea-facing plots of land, only 4 minutes drive from oceans, at 10 million rands per 2,000 square meter plot, and was sold out in a month. You know, and then everyone knows the success story of Izinga Ridge, the new Upper Umhlanga, where 120 plots at 1,100 square meters, costing 3 million, was sold out in 6 weeks. My fellow shareholder and executives argue with me that we are underselling our units, considering we have a superior product with a world-class mall and a 5-star hotel. But my policy in life is to make reasonable profits, not obscene. You as a buyer must have the big upside. That's how we spread wealth in South Africa. And I want to announce today that as patriotic South Africans, and in terms of our commitment, in terms of our commitment to creating wealth for fellow South Africans, and you've got to listen carefully to this because this is going to be a unique opportunity. It is our intention to place a percentage of shareholdings in the Ocean Mall and the world-class hotel in public hands at a very affordable price per share. We know we will be grossly oversubscribed given the great demand of high-quality real estate investments opportunities in South Africa. But the great news, for every one of our Purchase of the Oceans residents, we regard you as our co-investors and partners, so each unit owner will be guaranteed a to-be-determined preferential in the quantum of your shareholding. So you will not only be a proud owner of a world-class unit, if you choose, you could be a shareholder in the mall and the hotel, and that's our gift to you. For our Muslim apartment owners, we have introduced a Sharia-compliant investment placing. And our commitment to quality is very important in any program we get involved because we want to set the highest standards. And ladies and gentlemen, has everyone got the cell phone? All right, I want you, put on your cell phones, put it on. I want to give you some information. We as Oceans, and I am so committed to ensure that you have 200% satisfaction from today. The minute you sign that agreement and you become part of the Oceans family, I'm going to give you my private email address and phone number. If you believe that anything does not meet your standards, and you can phone me and I'll assure you in 24 hours it will be sorted out. My private email, it's Vivian, V-I-V-I-A-N, at edisoncorp.co.za. And against my executive team's wishes, they said, don't do it, but I believe in transparency and openness. I'm even going to give you my cell number. It's 083 775 1015. And to all your ladies, I'm already married. Now that is the commitment I give you. You have a problem with the quality of workmanship, or even during the way you are treated by the sales staff or anyone. If you move into your apartment, you believe something is wrong, phone me, and I'll ensure it's done. And even while you're a resident there, we will still be part of you. And that is a commitment I give you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oceans will be a new shape of Umhlanga. It provides an elevated level of privacy and exclusivity which is unparalleled in South Africa. I wish to congratulate you in successfully registering your interest in what is said to be the most iconic development in recent South African history. If you dare to live the dream, you will be purchasing into a unique amalgamation of spectacular architecture, translating in a truly luxurious and exceptional quality of living. My advice to you, ladies and gentlemen, if the unit you preferred is sold. Don't despair, as whether you are on the 7th or the 27th floor, the north or south resident, you are buying into an amazing upmarket, distinctively refined lifestyle in a community which shares the same exacting and enviable standards of elegance and status. You have only one choice, one chance to make a purchase today. I invite you to seize this once-in-a-lifestyle opportunity and become part of the Ocean's family. And I believe that by close of business today, you are going to set a real estate record in South Africa. Thank you and best wishes for a successful purchase, and God bless all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vivian Reddy. The reason I'm his praise singer, I'm hoping one day to be taken as his adopted son. Well, they say that there are two ways of becoming rich. One is through winning the lotto, and we all know that with theories of probability of 20 million to 1, that is probably hardly likely for every one of us. And the other way is the Vivian Reddy way. Have a dream, create a vision, develop a strategy for execution, and go hammer and tongs at it. Let the granite wall be ropes of sand. Well, I hope you've all had your tea and coffees and had something to eat, which reminds me of the time when Vivian met Archbishop Desmond Tutu a few years ago, immediately after Nelson Mandela's death. Archbishop Tutu has a direct line to the guy upstairs, and he said to Vivian that he was keen to know how Mandela was doing upstairs, and he related the story. Vivian, I was very curious to know how our beloved Madiba is doing upstairs, and I asked God to give me a chance to visit him, and through my powers that I have, I was able to transpose myself, and I visited Mandela in heaven. And I was surprised to see Mandela talking to Rajbansi. And Mandela was saying to Mr. Rajbansi, they were sitting at a smorgasbord with all the beautiful food, lovely, delicious, delectable food. And Mandela was saying to Rajbansi, Mr. Rajbansi, I know you must be finding it very difficult to be here in this new environment in heaven. It's not a concept that you're quite used to. But I want to say to you that you can eat as much food as you like. In this place, you will get a beautiful little cottage for you and your wife. You can eat anything. Don't worry about diabetes. Don't worry about heart attacks. Don't worry about anything. And of course, Rajbansi was quite surprised. Mr. Mandela, but that is very, very exciting news to me. You mean I can do and get a property without having to double-cross anybody? Yes, Mr. Mandela, you can do anything you want. And he looked at this lovely smorgasbord of food, delicious, lovely, everything that you could think of. And he looked at his wife, Asha, and he said, Asha, you bloody stupid Asha. I wish I never listened to you, bloody bran muffins and no sugar in my coffee. I could have come here a long time ago. And then he heard Mandela saying to, Rajbansi saying to Mandela, by the way, Mr. Mandela, do you have any garage sites that I can get here in heaven? Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is aptly and most appropriately chosen. For those of you that dwell in my generation, around 30 years old, you may remember that the old greater Umhlanga was mostly grazing grasslands. In fact, there is a story that this land was initially donated to the city for the grazing of cattle. And at the dawn of the new political dispensation in 1996, a diminutive little supremely committed political activist, was rewarded for his political sacrifices by being appointed as the head of the then North Local Council. His appointment, as many have forgotten, led to a brave and visionary concept of changing the face of this North region from a staid and sterile enclave of selective privilege to a dynamic, vibrant, and internationally sought after destination. He was personally responsible for spearheading the trailblazing transformation of this village of Umhlanga into arguably the premier holiday and residential destination in the country. His vision and perseverance has eventually led in no small measure to the city of Durban being acclaimed as the best quality of life in the country. Well, he may not be quite as diminutive anymore, but he is no less a dynamo. It is therefore my pleasure to ask the Speaker of the eThekwini Council, Councillor Logi Naidu, to welcome you on behalf of the city. Councillor Logi Naidu.
Thank you very much to our program director, Mr. Solipule. Let me recognize Mr. Vivian Reddy, Mr. Rob Alexandra, and to all of you distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's been a 20-year journey for me. It was in 1996 that I was appointed as head of the North Local Council in the new political dispensation that came into being. And when I first came to my office here in Umhlanga, all I saw was the little town center and the sugar fields. In fact, when we drove on Umhlanga Rocks Drive, I recall there were only two buildings. It was the Sharks Board and the old Tonga Tulip glass house. And the rest was all sugarcane. And yet how, over a period of 10 years, this entire node has been transformed into what is probably the fastest growing economic node in the country. We call it Santon by the Sea. And indeed, we've seen how with Gateway Shopping Center as the anchor, how the development of office parks, residential apartments, and before 2010, 12 new hotels were built within a 5-kilometer radius. I don't think this has happened anywhere else in the country. And today we have Umhlanga as a prime destination for investment, for work, for play, for recreation, and yes, still one of the favorite holiday destinations for South Africans. Indeed, since 1996, we put plans in place to see how we could change the skyline of eThekwini, how we could create new economic impetus and get the transformation of the city going. And I must tell you, it's been a wonderful journey for me in particular, the way developments have unfolded. The Point Waterfront Development Phase 1 that kicked off, and in this year, the latter part of 2016, you're going to see the Malaysian investors come in with the entire beachfront strip development. We've seen how the Umhlanga node itself has grown, the Izinga Ridge that Vivian Reddy referred to. We've seen how the Dubai Trade Port is developing around the King Shaka Airport. Dubai Trade Port today is home to some of the greatest companies in the world, including Samsung, who have only invested in phase 1, which is the assembly of the television. They're now moving on to phase 2 with the white electrical goods, and phase 3, which is going to be the mobile phones, all being assembled here at Dubai Trade Port for the entire Africa and Middle East market. And that itself speaks about confidence in our city. And indeed, with what has happened in Umhlanga on the beachfront, the oysters, the pearls, and now this magnificent development, oceans. And I must say, undoubtedly, uh, those who have seen this development from South Africa and abroad have been gobsmacked, just blown away by the architecture and the impact this would have on the Umhlanga skyline. This is bringing Dubai to Durban. You're going to be in a most fantastic development with a upmarket shopping mall, with a five-star hotel, and having your own pad in this wonderful address to be in. Now, we have won many awards in the city, and sometimes we don't boast about it, but I'm going to tell you about that pier you see out there. Actually, it was a stormwater outlet into the ocean. And now people who buy apartments for 4 or 5 million rand are not going to sit in their apartment and look at the stormwater pipe discharging into the ocean. So we decided to build a pier over it and create a bit of an attraction. And then the architect suggested, let's use the theme of the rhino horn, which was so topical. And that has been voted now the most impressive pier in the world. And that's quite an accolade. And as Vivian already said, in a survey conducted by Mercer, the international company, of 230 cities, in South Africa, Durban was rated #1 for quality of life. And of course, we came second in the African continent. We were beaten by Port Louis, Mauritius. But this is, when you buy an apartment, you're buying a lifestyle. And for those of you who come from outside Durban, you're guaranteed 350 days of sunshine, guaranteed a beautiful beachfront, and we are going to be building a rock pool to provide safe bathing. We are going to be upgrading the road infrastructure. And if you have taken a driven towards Mount Edgecombe, you would seen the Spaghetti Junction unfolding and being built. All of that to improve the lifestyle of people within this region. So you're not paying a couple million just for an apartment. You're really buying a quality lifestyle, probably unsurpassed in the world. You can buy something similar in the southern tip of Africa, but you won't have the weather. You don't have a warm ocean. In winter, you'll never get into that sea, and you're really in the hot city. So a very special welcome to all of you. I wish you every success. I wish I was in your position. I would have bought the 60 million penthouse apartment, you know. But we politicians are poorly paid people, so. Thank you for being here. Like they say, welcome to the hot city, because everything about the city is hot. The weather is hot, the people are hot, the food is hot. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Logi Naidu. Best peer in the world. I can assure you Logi has no peers. And that's not for his great dancing ability. Sorry that you're a poor politician, Logi, but I've got some friends in India I can introduce you to. Before I get thrown out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, if some of you are still dwelling in indecision, the next exciting presentation, video presentation, is going to certainly make you or allow you to make a decision that you're never going to change. There you are. Isn't that fantastic? Ladies and gentlemen, many of you will know that when Vivian Reddy is involved in a project, there is a guarantee of supreme quality, artistic and aesthetic excellence, and uniquely distinctive features. A development of this magnitude and excellence demanded not only the quintessential creative development and management team, it also demanded an innovative and defining marketing strategy. DevMark Global, the internationally successful marketing and sales operation, was handpicked for this marketing and sales because of its creative and distinctive strategies, professional execution, and immense success track record. Creatively led by Piers Moriarty from Ireland, DevMark boasts huge sales successes within South Africa and abroad. Zimbali Wedge in Ballito, Loxley Estate in Sheffield Beach, Durban's Golden Mile, and the Pearls in Umhlanga, and over 3,000 units in Dubai. The strategy and process of the sales operation has been uniquely crafted by Piers, rendering him perhaps the most innovative professional in the field. As CEO of DevMark Global and lead sales agent for the project, together with all the other estate agents present here today, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Piers Moriarty to now address you and explain the process and operations for the day. Please welcome Piers Moriarty.
Thank you, Solly. Good morning, everybody. Again, thank you, everybody, for coming and for queuing up from early hours of the morning. I see many familiar faces. Some of you, I believe, have been to all 5 of our last events. And we've listened to you. Sometimes they take a while. Okay, we need to process probably 300-400 contracts today. So there will be a little bit of waiting. But we've devised a new method, a new system, okay, to hopefully process your selection and your contract as quickly as possible. So I urge you to be patient with us. We will do our best, and we'll try and get it done as quickly as possible. I'd like to thank a few people, and firstly, Vivian Reddy and Rob Alexander for the opportunity to sell this fantastic project. Selling is always difficult, but when it's a project like this, believe me, it's a lot easier. And I think all you here are testament to that. Okay, so I'm going to just explain the process slightly. Oh, sorry, very important, which I nearly forgot. I'd like to introduce you to my 2 managers here in DevMark, Pravin Govender and Ashwin Singh. No, please come to the stage. Thank you. Pravin and Ashwin, I want you to see them because if you're in the selection area and if you need anything and if you can't see me, these are the gentlemen you need to find. Okay, they're the backbone of our company. The reason you're here is because they're here, and I just want to thank them for all their hard work. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. So you're going to find. I'm going to go through the process now. You've seen that as you came through the entrance, your barcode have been scanned. Okay, and we're just going to show up on the screen now how this is going to work. Okay. Anytime now, it's going to happen. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I want to explain to you, the screen on your right. Okay, this shows the inventory availability. Obviously, those that are red are sold, and everything else is available. In the agreement we had with the developers, we agreed that the developer would pre-sell approximately 60 units to his family, shareholders, employees, and business partners. And I believe most of you are aware of that, okay, when you came to the sales presentations. As you can see, there's plenty of other availability, and especially in the lower floors, which gives everyone an opportunity to find something. There's a wide range of availability and pricing there, okay? When you're watching the screen, you'll see as the units get sold, as the units get selected in the back room, it's automatically connected, and it will show us sold here. Okay, so to my left, to your right, This is the queue. Okay, so it is a separate queue for each agent. Okay, you should see your name there. Sorry, I need to explain. You will see the first 11 or 10, I think, people on the queue. Okay, if you're 12, 13, 14, you'll be further down. You won't see yourself there as we process each of the clients. Okay, the queue will go up. Okay, clear enough. Yeah. Okay. Next thing then is in the selection area at the back. In these events, something that really slows us down is not selecting a unit. Okay, so I'd really like you to please try and make an effort. Okay, as you see the availability going, and you'll see it going quite quick. Please have alternative units in mind. Okay, so that when you go into the selection room, okay, you can make a quick decision. Okay, that will help us process as quickly as possible. Okay. Right, well, that's it for me. Thank you very much. Okay, all agents, please could you come to the selection area? Thank you very much. And we will start calling you very, very shortly. Sorry, actually, one more thing. If you see your name at the top of the list, that means you're next up. Okay, so as you can see, Alma there, Yogesh Bika. I'm not good at the accent, the names. Okay, is Yogesh Bika here? Yes, he is. Okay, great. Okay, so you know that you're next up. Okay, so be ready. Okay, for when you're called. Okay, and you enter into the selection area to my left. Okay, there's a lady there who won't be doing the selection. There's another lady. Okay, and bring your barcode, and we'll scan you in so you can select your unit. Fine. Thank you very much. I hope that's all clear. Our colleague. Solly will be calling you, okay, when we're ready to see you, but please be ready in terms of the queue that you can see. Thank you.
Thank you. Pires, big round of applause for an exceptionally unique gentleman. And, you know, talking of estate agents, a doctor, lawyer, and an estate agent were together and arguing with each other about whether they should have a mistress and a wife or both. And the lawyer was saying, no, don't have a wife, because in the event of a divorce, it gets very, very messy. And the doctor was saying, no, don't have a mistress. You should have a wife, because that reduces the stress levels. And the estate agent stood up and says, no, you should have both a mistress and a wife. And the reason for that is when the mistress is thinking that you're the wife and the wife is thinking you're the mistress, you can actually go out and sell some homes. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the professional architects that you were introduced to here this morning, we have amongst us, men with white T-shirts and white golf shirts, the accomplished project managers, Scott Taylor and PMSA, structural engineers, Sutherland and MMK, electrical engineers, Kanyesa and Agoda, quantity surveyors, Crane quantity surveyors, and Hurt and Carter, amongst others. And throughout the day, the representatives of these companies will be floating around, and if you wish to ask any specific question of a technical nature, they are free to answer your questions. And they all are with badges that says, "Ask me." And ladies, please remember that there are restrictions on what you can ask. In addition, my dear ladies and gentlemen, as you have heard, we have representatives from the major banks as you enter inside after you're vetting your agreements. We've got all the major banks there, so you can get your advice, your financial advice, as well as legal representatives from Garlick and Bousfield. And if you wish to interrogate any legal issue, they're there to assist you. So we've got the entire team that will give you comfort in what decision or whatever decision you make here today. Well, after all of this, ladies and gentlemen, you may wonder how the ocean's development will fare against all new developments and buildings that spot the landscape of the new Umhlanga. Well, I want to put your minds at rest and remind you that it is an undisputed environmental fact on Earth that the all-powerful oceans will always engulf and devour everything around it, including oysters and pearls. And throughout the day, You will be having light snacks, so you won't go hungry. And in addition to that, we have a special area for children, if you have children that need to be taken care of, as well as we have the very famous Mo Magic, who will be entertaining you throughout the day, and you probably remember him for his new primetime TV slot. And all that's left for me to say officially is that on behalf of the shareholders of Oceans Development, I wish to welcome all of you to the family of Oceans. And ladies and gentlemen, we all today bid you good tidings as you enter the first day of the rest of your very gifted lives. Thank you for being here, and good luck, and I'm sure you're all going to be very happy by the end of the day. Thank you. So may I first call on the first line, Yogesh Bika, Muhammad Asim, Justin Chetty, Devendran Munsami, Gokulan Naika, Imtiaz Ahmed, Hemita Jamum, Sanam Krishnadath, Omesh N. Babita, Nishan Balgobind, Fahim Khan, Colin Ayapin, Vanessa and Sudhir, Richard Nandagopal, and Mahendran Govender, I think it's Goa. Mahendra Bhai Goa. So please, if you can then get to the corner, and we shall be calling the names as and when they finish at the back. When you go to the back, you will be met by the agents, just to repeat that, after which you will be moved to the hall adjoining, where you will then be able to vet and sign your agreements. We have the banks on the far right-hand side of the hall next door, and the legal representatives. And when you leave, please, there are enough magazines on the tables that you can actually take away. Feel free to take them as you wish. And remember that teas and coffees and a light lunch will be provided a little later. I do hope that you have a memorable and unforgettable experience today.
Where are you now that I need you? Couldn't find you anywhere. When you broke down, I didn't leave you. I was by your side. So where are you now that I need you? Where are you now that I need
Today is an absolutely amazing day. You know, it's a process, a long process, finally come to an end. And we are very excited. And when we talk to the buyers and we look at the excitement that's going around, and we think that we today are going to set real estate records in terms of the number of sales of units we're going to be selling. And more importantly is that people are getting a quality of product that they would never get anywhere in South Africa.
I must say, at this time we've put together a delightful team of, I think, the best professional team you can achieve in South Africa. The fellows have gone as far as Dubai for weekends to go and check on cutting-edge design. And I think the product we've put together is something to be proud of. I think Umhlanga Rocks will become certainly the epicenter, I hope, of KZN.
We've been working on this for 6 years, meeting every week for the last 6 years, designing it, conceptualizing it, and it's really exciting to have it come to fruition.
Throughout the buildings, you'll see the spaces have beautiful soft forms, aqua colors, etc., consistent with the ocean theming. Obviously, above this big retail plinth, we have 3 feature towers, 2 of which are apartment blocks, benefiting from the most exquisite views of the Indian Ocean. Those are designed specifically to have a unique form and to benefit from the lovely climate and, as I've said, the views. The 3rd tower is a hotel, 4-star, 200-key hotel, which will be managed by Radisson Blue, and that is topped with 64 apartments and some penthouses.
All in all, a great day, a great successful venture, and we think that things are going so well that we will have to introduce more units to satisfy the 2-bedroom buyers and 1-bedroom buyers.
Well, from our side, the hard work starts now. So now we have to deliver, and that's the interesting bit and the exciting bit, and so we're here with all of that.
Perfect. Well,
Cool.
cheers to that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.